Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, honey, you're welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what's it like working in China. But before I continue, I just want to say Happy Chinese New Year to everybody. Happy New Year. And also, I also want to say that if you hear any background noises, I'm currently with my friends. And also, if you hear any fireworks, it's Chinese New Year, so there's always fireworks. So in today's life, we're going to be talking about what's it like working in China. And a disclaimer, guys, before I continue, everything that I'm saying here on this channel is mainly for cultural exchanges. That's my disclaimer. Everything is fictional, and everybody's experience is a little bit different. And here on this channel, I'm just showing you guys and telling you guys my experience. And yeah, because as some of you may know, I am currently working here in China as an ESL teacher at a primary school. I've worked in kindergarten and primary school. So what I'm just going to be talking about is purely my experience. And if you're here for the first time, honey child, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 300 subscribers, and my goal this year is to reach at least 1,000 subscribers by the 1st of June 2023. And please help me reach this goal. I will really do appreciate it. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, I'm not sure if I should start with pros or I should start with cons, right? But I'll just be mixing as we go. So the first thing, like working in China, the first thing that I want to talk about is maybe at first the people here are really friendly and they are welcoming. Like when I say they are friendly and they are welcoming is because they are seeing somebody new, somebody different, and somebody for the first, like just a different face for the first time. They are really friendly and welcoming. But this only varies, like it varies from company, like what company you're working from. Some companies they're not like, they don't like foreigners, and some Chinese they don't like being in the same place with foreigners. Another pro that I noticed, like I have, is when you're working abroad, like working here in China, especially if you're working as an ESL teacher, you are paid more. Even any other job, you're paid more. Especially if like you're a foreigner, you're paid more than the Chinese that are working at that company, because you're a foreigner, you get. And also, being paid more also means that sometimes you have to work more. I don't know if you get, like being paid more. It's like you have to, they expect, because the money that you're being paid is much more than maybe the HR of that company or the HR of, so they expect you to put in work. You get what I mean? So before I really dive into this, I've been working in China for 2 years now. When I came to China, I came as a student, then I converted my visa to a work visa, and now I'm an ESL teacher. And this is how it's like working here in China. So another thing that I want to talk about is, for some, like I said, they expect you to work more, but the workload that you are given is less than the ones for the Chinese. What I mean by this, like if you're an ESL teacher, you're a homeroom teacher, you're only accountable to the kids in your class. And if you are working like in companies, I've also done training while I was studying. I worked at Crown Plaza Hotels group here in China, and the work that was assigned to me while I was a trainee was less work assigned to the Chinese trainees. That's just how it is. Also, another pro that I love about working here in China is that the kids will be nice, and it's usually the most reason why some people stay here, like because of, besides the monetary value, the money that you get from working, the kids, when you're teaching kids, like that unconditional love, that pure love. Like kids, when they look at you, yes, they see that you are different, especially if you're a non-native. And when I say non-native, like mostly people from Africa, we are considered as non-natives because English is not our first language according to the universe. I mean, also another pro about how it's like working in China is that you can get free accommodation. If it's a company that is well known, they will give you great accommodation. And there are some companies where they just treat foreigners, like their foreign employees, like it's just nothing. You get what I mean? They treat people like it's just nothing. So maybe you get basic accommodation where you can have a toilet, a kitchen, a bed, a washing machine, and things like that. Yo guys, this fireworks, God. Anyway, continuing, another pro is that at work they also give you food. This one has a love and hate relationship. What I mean, like, it's a benefit to some people and yet to other people it's a con, because the food that they provide for us at this cruise is food that is mainly Chinese, because I understand that because the larger proportion of people working at that company are Chinese, henceforth they make Chinese food. But then there's no options for us, like foreigners. Let's say maybe you're in a kindergarten, sometimes they make their Chinese noodles, sometimes they make their dumplings, sometimes they make, in noodles they come different kind of noodles, and there's some food that, like, sometimes they just put tofu. Tofu is like a fermented bean, and some people are not okay eating that kind of tofu. You get what I mean? The last pro that I had was life made easy by apps. What I mean is, like, you don't have that hassle that, hey, when I come back from work, I need to order food and or groceries or delivery, or go to the shop, and then maybe coming from work, then you're going for shopping to, like, even groceries or even necessities or even buying things. Why? Like, you just have to order online and get the same time. Maybe you leave at work at 5:30 in the evening, then you order your things maybe at 5:30. When you get home, 30 minutes, if your drive is 30 minutes also, or 20 minutes, you arrive at the same time with the delivery. And also on the delivery apps, these apps that we have here in China, you can select what time you want your goods to be delivered to you. These are the things that make life easier when working in China. And also the other thing that I wanted to talk about is, especially for teachers, is consistent surveillances. Things like, when you're teaching and you're in the class, and then maybe, how it is, you have cameras everywhere watching you, because these are foreign kids, and parents, and especially if you are teaching kids, like younger kids, something may just happen here in China. Something sorry guys, something also may happen, like things like, maybe a kid, you are accused of hurting a kid, or maybe you're accused of slapping a kid, or doing something like illegal. They can just check those surveillance cameras. To some people, yes, it's uncomfortable. Also, it means also lack of trust. But I feel like for us foreign teachers, it's a positive thing, because in case an incident happens and you're in there and you can't prove like what really happened, those surveillance cameras can just like withdraw footage from it and just help with your case. You get what I mean? So now I've talked about the pros. The pros, I say, more money, like the most paying job. The most paying job, like, is the English teaching jobs here in China. People make lots of money, and of course, if you're native, you make way more, like, compared to back home. And also I did videos on some of these things. Please do check my playlist that I made for you guys on my page, on my YouTube page. It's written All Things China. You'll find all videos that explain some of these things. That's why right now I'm just listing them and not getting right into detail. So another thing that I want to talk about is now the cons. The cons on my list, they feel like they are more than the pros. And for me right now, like, I'm really, really surprised because I don't even know. Anyway, the first one is less involved in activities of the company. What I mean is, like, for me as an ESL teacher, I'm not involved in the planning. I'm only involved with things that are related to English teaching. So if it's not English related, I'm excluded. Even when they hold like teachers meetings, they just go as Chinese, and because also in those meetings they'll be speaking in Chinese, you get, and there's nothing that much I can understand. Or they can just, now what the teacher that is assigned to me, like my, what do you call them, like my supervisor, my supervisor is the one that comes and tells me that in your classes you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this and that, you get. And also the next con is you always have to prove that you're worth the job, especially if you're non-native. Like for us people that are non-native, like for us, we really need to constantly make sure like you're putting 110 in the class, and sometimes you need to even put 150 in the activities that you're doing in class, when teaching, games, and your energy. And the thing is, it's tiring. Maybe like from morning to like from 8 until 12, that's when like Chinese lunch is like 11, 12. I have like 5 classes or 4 classes, and each are 1 hour, and the same energy that I have in the first class is the same energy that I'm supposed to have throughout the day too, until my last class of the day. And it's really, really tiring. And each time you don't put that much energy in the work that you're doing, they will come to you and say, this time you're slacking, blah 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 blah. So you always have to prove yourself to prove that you are worth the job and you can do the job constantly, or else you'll be out of a job. Also, like if you always, like working in kindergarten, if you're working in kindergarten, you're always tired. Trust you me, the time that I used to work in a full-time kindergarten, I never had a social life. Because Monday through Friday, I'm waking up early in the morning, I'm coming back late in the evening. And because you're spending time with kids run around, kids want to play, kids are always active, kids are kids, you get what I mean. And you as a foreign teacher, if they're in your class, you need to jump. When you're singing those songs, those nursery rhymes, when they're jumping, you jump. When it's talking about a song talking about running, actions, you need to show actions. And for every class that you have throughout the day, you need to be doing that thing. The money is nice, guys, but shame, it's hard work. And also another con for working here in China is like some companies, they don't give you your work permit. For me, this one, I also believe that it's like lack of trust between employee and employer. What I mean by this is like they don't trust you that you can, because the minute you just have your work permit, you can apply for other jobs if your current job is not suiting your requirements, you get what I mean. So yeah, there is that. So now they just keep your work permits for you, and also you can go and revoke your work permit. So companies like this, they keep your work permit in a way of, they always have a leash over you. Like you have to, and like some don't even get their documents. Like some people don't even have they've never seen their passports ever since they came to China. They were recruited from outside China and they start working here. Some people have never ever even seen their passports. They have never ever seen their work permits, and it's just like that. And for some, if you're lucky, your company gives you both. So it depends also with company and your employer also. Another con is if you're working for a company or maybe an agency, the money that, like, especially for non-natives, the money that they are getting from the schools is not the initial money that you are being paid. Like, it's not like maybe the school that you're working at, maybe is giving them like 50k per month for you, but maybe you get, because also you're a non-native, and non-native salaries, they range from 8,000 to maybe 13,000, and then they'll be getting maybe 40k 30k's for you as a teacher, because for some they actually say they are from South Africa, but you're maybe from Zimbabwe, or maybe you're from Ghana accent you get. Maybe mostly southern people, like people from the southern part of Africa, our tone is like nearly the same. You get what I mean? It's nearly the same, so you can pass it off. You get. So another thing, what it's like working in China. Today I'm talking to myself, and like, there are no people, there's nobody commenting, there's nobody talking, but we move, and I hope that this video helps somebody. If you are watching from the middle, please do not forget to click on that subscribe button, guys. Please give this video a big thumbs up so that my videos can be suggested. Okay, so another thing that we're going to talk about is long working hours. These long working hours, especially in hotels, you get, like, when I used to work doing my training in Crown Plaza, if there is like maybe a lot of guests, or maybe peak hour, and it's like up season, like people, a lot, like holidays, you get what I mean? Sometimes we had to work overtime, or maybe there is a private party in one of the banquet rooms. We had to stay overnight and serve the guests, because I was working in the food and beverage department. And yeah, and also here, like, Chinese, when I say long work hours, like, for Chinese who are in the corporate side, then, or even foreigners that manage to get a job related to their major, like if you graduated from engineering, then you take up an engineering job. Also, those kind of jobs, you have like overtime. But for schools, if it's like foreign activities, or maybe they are there, but they are rare. There are rare cases where you work overtime like that. So yeah, this one is especially for non-English working people. And if you're in English work and you're working long hours, probably it's office hours, because everybody's supposed to work 40 hours per week, right? I'm not sure. I think so. So another thing is the cons. Another thing is strict, inflexible hierarchies. Like, what I mean is, like, for you to get documentation here in China, you have to pass through different people. You go in this office, it stamps. You go in the other office, it stamps. There's no one direct person where, if you are resigning, you just go to your HR and then they just do everything for you. No, you go through different departments, and also the same person that used to handle this, tomorrow you might find out that, hey, we don't handle this person, you need to go here. Or if you can find that even police clearances here, you have to go jump through hoops to get your own police clearance. Imagine. Another thing is also what is like working in China. What I really hate about here is like some of these companies, they make us constantly be afraid that they can just revoke your visa at any time. Sometimes for some companies, you actually feel like they own you. You get what I mean? Like you belong to them. You get what I mean? Like what I said is like even just like your passport, your visa, because they keep everything, all your documentation. It's like if you even need to go to the bank, you have to talk to them. Can you please go with me to the bank? I need to use my passport for this. Even when you're going to the hospital, you'll be like, I'm sick, I need to go to the hospital. Can I please have my passport? Or can you have somebody come with me? Some companies, we've had stories like this. Yeah, in China, we've had constant stories like this. But like I said, everyone's experience is different. And some of these things are my experiences. Some of these are just stories that we talk about as colleagues, maybe when we meet up collecting our salaries, or maybe when we're just international, like when you meet other internationals and you just talking, like meeting in circle of friends, these things get discussed, and some of these things are things that were arise when we're talking about these kind of issues. Also, the next thing is annual leave. Guys, here in China, you can't just say I'm on leave and just be like I'm gonna get paid. Chinese like leave, some of them, they maybe just pay you the first 1 or 2 days of leave, or maybe just 1 day, then maybe the rest of the days you are not paid. So like if you don't work, there's no pay. That's just how Chinese leaves are. And for some companies, some people have sick paid leave. It just depends with how you negotiated your contract in the beginning. And yeah, also another thing that just, this one really annoys me, guys. Like I don't know, like to Chinese, like to people, they don't refer to you by your name. For some, they don't refer to you by your name. To some, you're just the white Gorean, you're just like the foreigner, and you can never be one of them, no matter how many years you work for them. Like they can never see you as an equal, they can never see you as you belong. There are people that have worked for companies for like 5 years, 6 years, but still are treated the same way that somebody that just came yesterday is being treated. That's just how it is with Chinese. You can never really belong. You get what I mean? And you, as you're working here in China, a good working environment, I feel like everybody craves for a good working environment. Everybody craves for society inside your workplace, to just feel like a home away from home. You get what I mean? And also just being included in everything, And also sometimes when these Chinese are eating, if they know that you're the only, let's say maybe you're on a school, you're the only foreign teacher for the whole school, and some of these people, I get that they don't like eating with, like, when it's lunch or break times, they don't hang around foreigners, because they don't want to be talking English the whole time, because some of them cannot speak English. But then just being around them and just talking, like eating together, you know what I mean? Or maybe just sitting there, just have somebody you sit with and just talk with. It would be nice, but then they prefer eating separately and can never be inclusive. Or maybe after work, you find them, they're going to the mall, they're going to do activities, and you're just going back home. That's some of the things, like how it's like here in China. And also another thing, I talked about the Chinese dishes are mostly cooked with less consideration to foreign workers. Majority of the food that is made at these schools or at these workplaces are for Chinese. And there is no variety. And I understand that it's not only in China. Maybe if I was working in Zimbabwe, a Chinese was working in Zimbabwe, most probably that Chinese would be offered Zimbabwean food, Zimbabwean dishes. And yeah. Another thing also that makes working here in China difficult is more attention is given to Chinese customs and traditions than that of your country. Guys, back at home, us in Africa, in Zimbabwe, we don't go to work on a Christmas. In China, if Christmas is on a Monday, you're waking up and you're going to work. There is no explanation. The only international holidays they recognize is New Year's, the International New Year's, that 1 January. What other the worst holiday? Workers' Day. Yeah, Workers' Day, and the rest of the holidays are purely for Chinese, by Chinese. And if you're a Chinese, or even religion wise, some people say, "Hey, we don't work." Like, even some people say we don't go work on a Saturday because they are Sabbath, like they are Sabbath people. And you find that when you are in China, I've never really made research about it, but I feel like it will be an unpaid leave, because some say, yeah, when you're in Rome, do what the Romans do, blah 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 blah. But then, yeah, I don't know how. I've never interviewed Chinese working in Zimbabwe or foreigners working in our country, but I feel like these are the issues that you always face as a foreigner working in a foreign land. And also another thing is housing, guys. Sometimes we end up opting for these company houses because there is always negativity surrounded by looking for an apartment for yourself, because some people, they don't even want to rent these apartments to foreigners. You get. And another thing that I wanted to talk about is working, like I said, like working harder than everybody else, because like I said, the schools, they pay us more than the money that we're getting from our agencies. When you're now at work, there's always that gap, that way at the company, at the school, they think that you are being paid that amount that they're paying the agency, but to you, you're being paid less. And with the effort that you're putting and the money that they think that you're being paid, which is not the money that you're being paid, you get what I mean? There's a huge gap, and they say, we pay you so much money, but this is how much you deliver. You get what I mean? It's always never transparent with Chinese. And if something is going on, let's say maybe this lockdowns, even before it starts or anything, thank God those lockdowns have been lifted. Like, you never know 100% like what's going on. You can just wake up in China, and then that's what's happening. And maybe you have been working, but you have not been saving money, and you have not been preparing for this emergency, just breakdowns, lockdowns, or whatever. It's something that is really frustrating for a person that is working in China, because you can never know. Now you have to be cautious how you spend money. You have to be on TikTok, because even if you save money, you don't know how that money is going to last you. You get what I mean? But anyway, this is it about this life today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do YouTube lives about all things China every Saturday, 8 p.m. That's China time, and 2 p.m. Central African time. Please join these videos, and if you have any suggestions of videos that you would like me to put out there, kindly go down in my description box, and you can find ways in which you can contact me. We can connect, and you can bring your ideas. If you're afraid to comment on the channel, it's okay. Major shout out to the people that joined this live, although today there are no comments. I've been talking to myself, but thank you for joining this live, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and the love and the support. Please do not leave this live without subscribing to the channel if you haven't. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.